is by Haakon Brouwer. Mr. Diederik Dam was called in Paris today for a meeting. The firm is Dam Partners, and he presents the Zalmhaven in Rotterdam, which is the tallest building in Benelux. Is that right?
Still,
in the three,
right?
in the three countries.
For the time being, yes.
Well, Luxembourg we don't talk so much about.
No, okay. Okay.
Belgium and
No, well, it's an honor to be here. Thank you, Professor.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, and of course, to be honest, having the tallest tower of the Benelux isn't such a big deal.
No.
No. And we've seen all the figures. But the nice thing is that what I think is a big deal and could be of interest here is that it's the tallest prefabricated tower in the world. And I think that could be, and that's actually what I want to show is the insights that gave us, and that also that engineering process that we're now using for our timber hybrid buildings. So it's, let's say, an engineering mentality, and I thought you would like that. Right. For people who, my name is Haakon Brouwer, and for people who don't know Dam Partners that well, we are actually a small company compared to Astrid's UNS. We're, let's say, sort of divided by 10. We're with 40 architects and engineers, and we pride ourselves that we also do the structural drawings, but also the construction drawings for contractors. So that from the very start, we're involved, and we also sort of are involved until delivery. And I think with the tallest buildings in the Netherlands, again, not a big deal, but still we've been involved with those over the couple of years. And I think the chance for tall buildings, I don't think a tall building is the answer, but it can be part of an answer, and it can be part of a very specific answer in the Netherlands, and it can sort of address future social needs in a very specific way, especially if you look at the Netherlands. We, as the Dutch, normally see them as individual cities, but if you zoom out just a tiny bit, you can see that actually it's one city.
Well, there was Randstad Holland.
Yeah, exactly. So it's, to be honest, it's one conglomerate, and I would think it's a very big shame if we do our densification in a sprawl, like if we just fill in, let's say, the black parts in this aerial shot. I want to show a very small project, a very humble one, a tower that we did a couple of years ago in Amsterdam, and it's mixed used, but mainly it's affordable housing. And it was part of a competition. There were 3 pitches, and our strategy in this one with our real estate developer was, can we propose the smallest possible building with a business case? Because the majority vote in this competition was for the residents. They would decide which project was best. So basically we took a lot of effort, and in a very un-engineering way chose the hardest solution by building a tower inside the water, but giving back public space. And I think that also aligns to the total conference here of the day, because we were able to give back a playfield and a little park, hence getting the majority vote of the local residents. And this same approach we did of giving back with Zalmhaven in Rotterdam on the spot.
It took 20 years.
Yes.
2002, 2022.
Actually, it's my first project. So you could say that
you grew with it.
Yes. There's this, I know we're short on time, but the anecdote is that I came from TU Delft and the project just started, and I was sort of given this project, well, how can you do this? And I said, is this actually very smart to have a graduate work on the tower? And our founder said, Haakon, don't worry, it will never happen. So anyway, but here we are.
It's an academic
exactly.
experience.
Yeah, exactly. Fruitful?
But then eventually it got built.
Eventually, yes. And the nice thing, it addresses the shift of the harbors of Rotterdam more to the west, outside of the city. And with this tower, we're able to address more the city towards the river. I mean, a tower is nice, but it's the river that's the identity bearer of Rotterdam. And for the urban plan, it functions like an urban pivot, really connecting different parts of the city. So yes, solitary, but also part of a larger project, and really addressing more towards the water and the river. It's mixed use, mainly apartments, of course, in a large spread, but also offices, commercial, and the thing I'm most proud of, that we were able to give back a restaurant on top. So that, I mean, the easiest thing is always to position a penthouse on top of a tower, and somebody's always saying this in a process, like 20 years. But the nice thing here is that we were really able to give a place where you can have coffee, also for local residents. And we, that's why one of our first models I wanted to show, it's also giving back on street level, and giving a public lobby that connects the street to a new park that the city is developing. And actually, you already see the winding staircase for people going up to the restaurant, so that also the flows don't mix between residents and people towards this restaurant. So there's just ground floor with the functions, also loading bay inside, and then the function around a little atrium, just as a sequence. I mean, this is also us Dutch watching too many American movies. It's really this idea of being welcomed and entering to a doorman towards a lobby inside for the residents themselves, winding staircase going up as a flow through this little atrium, that actually something happens there, with a view on top that you actually know. It's not a generic thing, it's that you actually know where you are always. So from a duplex typology towards a restaurant giving something back in the crown. To be able to develop this actually took some engineering and some development, because I'm not sure that all of you are aware that once you think of a tower in terms of engineering in the Netherlands, you also have to think of what it stands upon, because of course the soil in the Netherlands is just water, to be honest, and the Zalmhaven is sort of there because it has piling of 65 meters underneath it. So from a, let's say, a carbon position, or even a development position, or even a building position, you're always set back immediately. So it's like you enter the competition and you're already 2 or 5-0 behind, and then you have to compensate. So you have to engineer really well. This is also what really the lesson that we learned on, especially on this project, because it's almost like, I dare say, an episode of Dr. House, where you don't know exactly what's going on, but if you make the conditions worse, you really know what it is. So, and that's our soil, basically, in the Netherlands. So we really had to engineer it integrally and work from the beginning and sort of see this as a floor plan in a very utilitarian way, because when we started off, we didn't know what the typology would be. It had to fit many options, which would, so basically we optimized for total flexibility, where we could have plug-and-play system of a typology and fit almost like Lego blocks right up to the very moment, and with open corners, and also giving back something, and also outdoor spaces right up to very height. This is in the Netherlands context, of course. And engineering this part was the most vital part, this corner connection, where you have a balcony and the corner, which had to be mocked up with 2 stories to really see those connections. And we all did this because we knew from the very start it had to be able to be prefabricated to make the time window within this plot. So it was built with a self-raising shed, hoisting shed, which raised itself every week. So we were able to develop 1 story every week. So basically making up for the time lost with piling. Elements were made in the south of Holland, just outside of Eindhoven, brought on a lorry to a logistic area just outside of Rotterdam, and then on-demand delivery to this hoisting shed. So it's a conditioned area. You can see the snow there, into the self-contained element. And this, during COVID time, there were no delay days. So not for wind, and it also for safety for the local residents. Really proved the vital point. By the way, it's modular, and you can, if you really want to, you can rent it from that company, De Boer. Just saying. Anyway, the biggest challenge was, of course, building the top. And in terms of engineering, and here it came everything together, the top is reversed. So actually the spire was built first, and then the top was jacked up. And I'm not going into, let's say, the difficulties with certification, etc. But this was really the solution. And here you can see the self-raising shot lowering itself again. And this, my whole point...
Does it happen that you get so low, the clouds are so low that it sticks out?
Yes.
It does?
Yeah, it's the Netherlands, come on. And my little shift here is that we're using this engineering mentality now for our timber hybrid buildings. So because there are conditions there, and also in terms of prefabrication, are even more strict. So, and then you're able to do some magical things, also building a tower on top of an existing parking garage while the next door office building is still in use. So just in terms of the lightness of such a tower in Amsterdam, connecting an urban axis that wasn't there until recently, sort of really having a specific intervention, giving more public space at eye level, and really fostering community. Because, of course, all of these, to my mind, and perhaps also yours, are means to an end. Because to get to, let's say, the center is everything that drives us, and our, let's say, the community. And we have to do this in an integral way. We have to do it in, I dare say, a holistic way, because we have to bring affordability and sustainability and process together. And in the end, it's all about well-being. And
Thank you.